We're just a few days away from September, so if you receive Social Security benefits, whether it's Social Security retirement benefits, SSI or SSDI, there are a few different things that you should know coming up for the month ahead in September. So we're going to be covering that in today's video. So according to Yahoo Finance, the first thing that you should know about for the month ahead in September is that the funding shortfall could cost you $17,400. So the coming OASI fund depletion might seem like an abstract concept to many Social Security beneficiaries because it's still about a decade away, but the Nonprofit Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget recently put the impact in stark, concrete terms when it estimated that some retirees could face a cut of more than $17,000 a year when the OASI runs out of money. The estimate was included in an August 8th report. In that report, the CRFB wrote that when the OASI fund becomes insolvent, likely by 2033, a typical newly retired dual income couple would face an immediate cut of $17,400 a year. For a typical single income couple, the projected cut would be $13,100. Now, the reason for this cut is because, like they mentioned, by 2033, possibly 2034, this date could be even earlier if we continue to get these high COLAs and the trust fund continues to get depleted even faster. This, of course, could get moved up. It's also possible that that date could get moved back. If that happens and the trust fund is depleted, you would still receive some sort of money. Like they mentioned here, you would be receiving a cut on average. Right here they mentioned the number of $17,400. That's because, once again, you're only going to be able to receive around 75 to 80% of your normal benefits. So you're going to be receiving a cut of anywhere between 20 to 25% if the trust fund gets depleted and they're not able to do anything about it between now and whenever that date happens. Now, let's hope that lawmakers in Washington are able to come up with some sort of bipartisan plan to fix this, either bring more money into the trust fund or figure out a way to, have less money leaving the trust fund, which is going to be the most difficult thing to do. Now, the second thing that you should know about, according to this article, is that the GOP candidates eye cuts. So this week's Republican presidential candidate debate in Milwaukee was notable mostly for the absence of former President Donald Trump, the GOP frontrunner. However, 2024 candidate and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie made headlines before the debate when he said Social Security will be bankrupt in 11 years and accused some of his fellow candidates of being, quote, liars and cowards for not tackling funding problems head on. He also said it's time to start thinking about cutting the program. Trump publicly opposes cutting Social Security benefits, a policy mostly shared by fellow Republican candidates Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy, Doug Burgum, and Asa Hutchinson. Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley have both floated the idea of raising the full retirement age for younger workers, which would essentially cut benefits by delaying the time seniors can access their full benefits. Former Vice President Mike Pence has proposed privatizing Social Security. So for a lot of the Republican candidates, their ideas of Social Security reform to make sure that we're not having a cut of 20 to 25% is to make it so younger Americans today that say maybe under the age of 50 or 40, they have their full retirement age lifted from 66 or 67 up to 69 or 70. That way we have less money leaving the trust fund. Now, they would probably have to do something in addition to that, but that's pretty much their idea right now, whereas Democrats are mostly in favor of raising taxes on Americans who earn either above $250,000 per year or over $400,000 per year, and by that, they would make it so they would have to continue paying into the Social Security Trust Fund via the payroll tax, in which you get taxed anywhere between 6.2 to 12.4%. So obviously that's something to look out for. And the candidates who right now are saying that we shouldn't touch it at all, that we shouldn't do anything about it, that we shouldn't make any sort of reform, are also in a way advocating for these cuts because, once again, if nothing is done in 2033, by that date, there will be a cut of anywhere between 20 to 25% across the board for everyone. So that's definitely something that needs to be done. Now, the third thing that you should know about for the month ahead is the latest COLA estimate. So with the inflation rate running at about 3% right now, Social Security experts predict that the 2024 cost of living adjustment will also be around 3%. The most recent estimate from the Senior Citizens League is 3% based on July inflation data. For Social Security recipients, this means they can expect a much lower increase in their monthly payments in 2024 than they received this year, with a COLA of 8.7%. As previously reported by Go Banking Rates, a COLA of 3% would raise the average monthly benefit in 2024 by about $53.60 from current levels, well down from this year's average increase of $146 per month. There is a wild card that could increase the 2024 COLA. However, the impact of this year's hurricane season will have on gasoline prices. Severe storms often disrupt oil and gas production and distribution, which sends gas prices higher, and those prices make up a key part of the inflation index used to calculate the Social Security COLA. If hurricane season is more severe than normal, as the Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration predicts, the impact on gas prices could lead to a COLA of more than 3% in 2024. The exact COLA for 2024 won't be known until October 12th. That's when the September inflation numbers come out. The Social Security Administration bases its annual COLA calculation on the percentage increase in the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers in the third quarter compared with the prior year. So once again, they list one prediction by the Senior Citizens League. Right now they are saying 3% is going to be the COLA for 2024. However, we do have some other projections out there. So we have like the Boston Center for Retirement Research. They're projecting anywhere between 3 to 3.8%. So there's kind of have like a middle projection there of 3.4%. So most likely it is probably going to be anywhere between 3 to 3.4%. However, whenever the inflation data for September is released in September, which is actually going to be the month for August, since that data is actually trailing by 1 month, we're going to have an even better idea of how much of a COLA we can expect to receive in 2024. And as I mentioned there, if hurricanes end up being very devastating and it ends up increasing the price of oil and gas, of course we could even see a bigger lift there as far as the COLA next year goes. Now, the fourth thing that they mentioned that we should know about coming up in the month of September is what your check might look like. So they say that the average Social Security benefit doesn't change much from month to month or even year to year, but it doesn't remain stagnant either. The average benefit for retired workers as of July 2023 is $1,838.58 a month, according to the Social Security Administration. The monthly average for spouses of retired workers is $891.32. And then, of course, the fifth thing that we should know about coming up in the month of September applies to recipients of SSI. That's because recipients of SSI are actually going to be receiving double payments next month in September. Now, first off, I will say this is not a bonus payment. You're not going to be receiving two payments in September in addition to whatever you're going to be receiving the following month in October. No, you're going to be receiving two payments in September. That's because that second payment that you're going to be receiving in September is technically just your October payment. Now, this is why this is happening, because usually every single month you are going to be receiving your payment on the first of every single month, but there are some exceptions to that. The exceptions is if the first of the month falls on a Saturday, a Sunday, a weekend, or a holiday. And in this case, October 1st is actually going to be falling on a Sunday. So in this case, you're actually going to be receiving your payment the Friday earlier than that weekend, and that Friday earlier happens to fall on September 29th. So next month, SSI recipients are going to be receiving their first payment as usual on September 1st, and then they're going to be receiving a second payment next month in September. That's going to be falling on September 29th. Now again, you're not going to be receiving any payments in October. So again, this is not like a bonus payment. You're not going to be receiving two payments in September and then another payment in October. Your second September payment is simply just your October payment, coming a little bit earlier, again, because October 1st is going to be falling on a Sunday. But that's all we have for today's video for the things that we should know about coming up in the month ahead in September for Social Security recipients. I definitely hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, I would definitely appreciate if you would give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.